That's where all the time goes. YouTube is rounding down. Get, 55, 54 is a countdown on this side. It gets to 55 seconds and it says, waiting. All right, let me play with this just a minute and we'll get right into it. I see Ant and Lincoln Central are joining us. Good to see. I think I found a Kasachi with a doubled tail, and I definitely found a Roosevelt with die chips. Yeah, you're going to find a lot of Roosevelts with die chips. Around the face, nose, lips, eye, bottom of the bust. I probably have one here somewhere. I'm sure of it. Now, let me move the coffee before I dump it on everything. Okay. Well, I went through a bunch of pennies over the past 2 hours trying to find some examples of MD. I barely found 3. But we got pictures, so we'll be okay. And look, I'm going to do some drawings. Because, man, there's nothing better than cartoons. There's Ginger. Good to see you. Ray Chubb. Paula Schlammer Blum. Schlammer. Okay, we're ready. Look, a couple of things first. We got Dustin over here at CoinOp is going to be broadcasting live from the show in Bellingham. We got a little surprise up our sleeve, so you want to watch that if it pops up. But don't kill this stream in favor of his, unless you really want to. In which case, you can do whatever you like. Let's see. Oh, I meant to mention one more thing. Where's the screen? Here's the screen. Here's the video directory, because I had to get Justin's link. You get Coin and Card Hobbyist. It's Amanda. She's closing in on 1,000 subs. If you look in the description below this video, you'll find a whole bunch of links. And, well, if I don't have the link to her video channel, you'll find a link to the directory, and then you can find that. It's nice and green. But she's at 1,000. Let's put her over the top. Let's see if we can find her way home. There. I think we got it. Nope. I got one more thing to do. There. Now we can get going. There's Sparrow's Godchild. We miss you too. Where you been? We're doing this without you. Let me kill this light real quick. Okay. And Gums 11060 O'Hara. Why does that sound like a mafia guy? Watch out for Bugsy Siegel and Gums O'Hara. Well, that's a new name. We're welcome aboard. Look, we have a coin class every Saturday. Well, most every Saturday. Sometimes I'm doing something else. We pick a subject and wail on it and try to get some understanding of what we're talking about out to the people. What we're going to talk about today is MD, machine doubling or mechanical doubling. You're going to encounter this a lot, and it's probably the most often or most commonly misunderstood and misdiagnosed item you're going to see. If I can get the scope to show up, I've got a couple of examples, but they're pretty shabby. Really, the photos I got lined up are going to do a whole lot better, but we'll get to that. I got to find this focus, and let's see if we can find the MD that I thought I found earlier. And that's going to be tricky because I'm not ready. Man, you try to find MD, you can't find it. Okay, what do we got? Here we go. Mechanical doubling it's faux doubling. It's fake doubling. It's accidental doubling. It's not a doubled die. Machine doubling or mechanical doubling happens at the point of striking the coin. So it takes on a different appearance, different characteristics than a double die would. And what you're going to see, if I can, well, boy, this is hard. If I point over here, right in there, right along the edges here, okay, you're going to see some doubling. It looks like two images overlapped. A lot of people say, "Oh, geez, I found a double die." You can always tell when somebody's new with a loop. All right, they're getting in there, they're looking at the coins, and they find, "Geez, I got 40 double dies, all from that one roll." The key indicator that you don't have something rare is when you find lots of them. Very rarely you're going to go through a bunch of coins and find 40 double dies, although it does happen. What you're probably looking at is mechanical doubling. And let's see, I've got another, somewhere here is another example. And I got to find it. Let's see, where did I put it? We got to find this one. This one's hiding on us. Maybe on the side of the, I got some photos would be a whole lot better. Now, if you actually go looking for MD, dude, you can't find it for nothing. I went through 300 pennies just now. No matter. No matter. We'll get over some photos. Where'd they go? I'm gonna put those up. Let's go to the screen real quick so we know what we're talking about. Okay, there's an example, and I've got to press this button. There we go. This is what we're looking at. Can we see the mouse? We can barely see the mouse. Okay, see the N? Looks like it's a double N. Looks like there's two N's. This is the Ian and In God We Trust. This is machine doubling, and we got some characteristics to talk about to look at it. Okay, over here we got Washington quarter, and you see, oh, I see what's happening. The mouse changes. Give me a different one. Maybe this one will work. How about that one? How about this one? The bucket of paint? I think the pencil's working the best. Okay, right along the nose. Okay, in front of the lips. You have this extra doubling. It's not really doubling though. It's kind of doubling. It's fake doubling. It's an accident that happened. It's not a double die. And we're going to look at why it is the way it is. Okay, another good example. This is a great example. Where's that pencil? There you go. You got two D's here, a D on top of a D. Is that what it is? You get an E on top of an E. Again, these are mechanical doubling. Okay, now let's explain what the heck is going on. I can find my way home. Okay, there's home. And then I got to get this up. Yep. And then we go back to here. Oh, good. We got it. Now let me move this. We'll start drawing pictures. Now, until you get your head around MD, there we go. It's going to be tough. I'm so unready. I don't have a pen. There we go. Let's see if that works. There we go. Let me catch up on who's in here and who's doing what. There's Ginger, Tim Holmes, Lincoln Ant, everybody. 16 people watching. Outstanding. Okay. This is going to be really tricky because I got a pen and a camera in the way. So if I, move the pen just enough, I'm going to smack that camera. Okay, let's look at a letter. Letters N. Okay, this is what you're going to see on the coin. This is a normal N. If I can draw right. Ta-da! All right, it's got a normal thickness. You know what the thickness is on there. You can actually measure the darn thing. It'll be the same from one coin to the next, right? MD is a bounce. It's a vibration within the striking chamber where the dies that are coming together, one of them's going to wiggle, right? It's going to kind of bounce. So you have a secondary strike, but it's not enough force to impart a full image. Now you've already got an image on the coin, and then you're going to come and smack it again. So what you have are the fields crushing the design elements on the coin, and you end up with something like this, where it has a couple, well, that's a terrible drawing, it has a couple of impressions. Boy, that's just shoddy workmanship. Okay. One of the secrets to this, to understanding it, is what MD is going to do is make your devices thinner. Okay. This little bit here, that's the device in your coin, the letter, the number, the face, whatever is there, the building, getting struck again and flattened partly. So instead of the regular thickness, part of it's been shrunk over because it's been flattened. A double die, the process there is you're hubbing a die, if I can get this. So you're putting in a positive impression into a die and making a negative impression. Right, so you get a dip. And if I hit that twice, that dip gets wider. MD is the other way around, and it strikes the designs on the coin and squishes them. It doesn't add anything to the design. It crushes what's already there. So you have, well, thinner devices. Let me get over there to that, where'd that go? The in, yep, there it is. How can I make this work easy? I got 37 windows open, so boy, it's tough. Here you go. And can we see that? Let me see if I can see. We can see it. Oh, good. Okay. Let's zoom it up just a little bit. So if you can see the N on this guy, the normal thickness Let me find my pen. The normal thickness on this is going to be from the right side over here all the way to the left side of this flat area. That's a normal thickness, but part of it has been crushed, so it's, well, it's just flattened right out, and I have a thinner device. One of the characteristics is that it's going to be a flat shelf. And I'm going to draw a little picture so we can get an idea of where MD occurs. Let's see, home, there, and here. Boy, this is tricky today. I got 30 things open. Okay. All right. We got the field of a coin. All right, that's the flat section above the date, for example. Then you have, if you take a coin and slice it in half, we're going to have this little thing. That's like the number 9 in the date. Okay, this would be normal, and this is all copper or zinc or whatever you got down here. This is all solid. That's the metal. There you go. There's your coin. Now this would be normal, and you got some height here. You got some relief. Depending on where it is on the coin, will tell you what's going on as far as, is it doubling, is it MD, is it die deterioration. MD, you're getting another strike on that coin, right? So instead of putting in a secondary image, because I'm not going to do that, there's not enough force, I'm going to trim what's already there and leave a flat shelf. Okay, I'm taking the same design, that'd be the die, and smashing an existing image on a coin, and I'm going to flatten it, because this flat section right here is that bit over here. Okay, it's the field. That's why they're flat shelves. In the end, I'm going to have, oh, something akin to this, if you can make that out. Yeah, there you go. This is all solid down here. So this little corner here is going to have the same shape as down here, but this is flat. Now this can range from low to high. It could be all over the place on the coin. It could be sloped. It could be at a slight angle, right? So that N over here can actually have a leg that looks, if I can draw this right, there you go. It can actually have an angle to it, if that can be read. I really should have these pictures done up ahead, okay? And over here I'd have a wider angle. And over here it would have an angle. Okay, they can be straight, they can be angled, they can be sloped, but they're not at the top, right? This is the top of the relief, and they're not usually down here at the bottom. Okay, let's look at a double die. And we'll draw that coin again. Now, double die is going to have a full-featured device, but it's also going to have another full-featured device. So it looks like, you know, mounds. Normally it'd be down to here, but the die itself was hubbed twice. This is a double die. Now the relief, this is the normal one. This is a secondary part over here. It's going to be the same, right? Same height. Your double die is up here. Right, your machine doubling is somewhere in between. Okay, somewhere in here. In this case, it's about halfway in this particular example. Whereas die deterioration, it's another animal we got to conquer. That's going to be right down here, where this bit has been worn away. Okay. So in your height, it's going to be right down there. MD is somewhere in the middle. Double dies are right up at the top. That can help. We got a question here. Can you draw the N doubled die? Oh, easy. Do. That should be it. You're looking at you can't see a thing. You're looking at the same relief, the same height, right? But instead of having a flat shelf, you might have a separation line in there, right? But the height over here on that secondary strike, it's not struck at the coin, it's struck when the die is made. Okay, you might see separation lines here, but the thickness here, remember how this gets thinner? Over here, normal thickness is that wide, but on a double die, it's extra wide. It's thicker. They're wider. You have a machine doubled coin. I have 3, but they're just miserable examples. I wonder if I can find. I had one over here in a box because it was huge and wonderful. I wonder if I could find that. I hate to look for stuff in the middle of a show. No, that's a quarter box. How about that one? But there's some good examples out here. Let's go back to that photo because I'm not going to find anything right now. I can tell you that. Photo. Where'd you go? I'm going to get to here. Yep. Click on that. And then click on this. And I should be able to see the screen. Okay, there you go. So this one, the normal thickness ranges from this far right edge over to that far left edge. That's a normal thickness of the device. But it's been flattened, as you can see. And the shelf is flat. The relief from this low section to the high section is, a percentage, a good part of the height of the normal end. And I don't have a double die. Yeah, I'm not prepared for this. Over here you got the edge of the nose and on the lips. It's flattened, right? And this is low to the field. And you got this one right here. It's not low to the field. It's about midway up, but it's flat. And now the normal thickness of this D is from this upper edge all the way to this lower edge. But you've got that bit in the middle, right, where that's the new upper edge. And this little shelf down here, it's low and flat. That's one of the key aspects. It's a flat shelf. Now let me go home and click on that. There we go. And we get back home and take a look. Now, when you got something like this with a true double die, this whole section, it's all at the same height. It's all at the same height. MD, it's going to be stepped. It's going to be a flat shelf, right? It's not at the same height. Double die, up at the top, full relief. MD, lower. And then you get die deterioration, which is another animal. And that's at the field. That's down on the bottom. So if I'm understanding, key to being sure is to measure right. Measuring helps. You can get, these things, they're pretty handy. There you go. But they're tough to work with, let me tell you. Let's watch this. Scope. Okay, each line is 1/10 of a millimeter here. But boy, this is really tough to do. Because if I move it just a little bit on the screen, it leaps a mile. Okay, let's see if we can make this work. We had some MD. Let's get the shiny one here. You're going to find MD a lot on these memorials. I don't have the dexterity to pull this off, I'm afraid. There you go. If we can see that, how thick is that extra bit? Let's zoom in and try to have a look here. I mean, you're looking at, a fraction of a millimeter. Boy, this is hard. There you go. Okay, the taller lines are a millimeter apart. Each of the smaller lines is 1/10 of a millimeter. Now, there's no rule as far as how wide the MD area is. Okay, I've seen wide, I've seen narrow. Sometimes it's just a kiss. Which is, you can see, you're looking at a fraction. Oh, here you go. Where's that N? I got an N here. I'm sure I got an N. There's an N. That's a perfect N. Okay, you're only looking at what, a millimeter on that anyway? How wide is the N? Boy, that's hard. Lock it down. I can't do this. I suck at this. Ready? Stop moving. I got two things moving. If I move one, it moves the other. The N. There you go. Screwed it up. 0.6 6 millimeters. That is darn tiny. But if you take a look at just the leg of the N, 2 lines, 0.2 millimeters. We're into microns here. But if you look at the big photo here, home, scope, screen, there you go. So if this leg is 0.2 millimeters wide, right, then that puts this thing, this secondary part, this restrike, the machine doubling section at 0.05 or so, just a tiny amount. I mean, it's less than a quarter. Now you're into microns, but you can pick this up with your eye so easily. What you've got to look for is the flatness of it. It's not the same height. Where'd that other one go? There you go. It's not at the same height. If this were a double die, this little bit, this shelf should be higher up. Let's zoom in and have a look here. All right, that should be at the same height as the edge of his lip, but it's a flat shelf. It's a way down low. Boy, this is hard to explain. You got to get your head around it, and the best way to do it is get experience. Go look through a couple boxes of pennies. You'll find it. I guarantee it. I have to do a mint tour. We all need to. Gosh, we get the coin bus. We'll run up to the mint. Okay, that's a great example of double die and machine die. I lost you. I lost you. Ginger says, then when you examine coins, that's why you say you want to see fat. I want to see fat. A lot of times you see a fat 9. Let's see if I can draw a 9. This is a good spot here. You see the 9 on the date. It's going to look something like this. That'd be a normal 9. That look about normal? Now, the die is concave. It's deep, right? This 9 on the die is going to be incused, it's going to be sunk in. So when I take that die and press a coin, the copper or the metal is going to fill that void. It's going to fill the 9, which is backwards on the die, right? But when I'm making the die, okay, when I'm making the die, I'm going to have effectively a raised image, much like this, that I'm going to sink into that die. And if I do that twice, right, with a little shift in between, I'm going to have a wider gap here. Let's see if we can show this one. Okay, this is going to be the hub, right? And it's got a, yeah, we can see that. It's got, the same as this. It looks just like a coin. It's raised. And I'm going to sink this into a die. All right, so I'm going to end up with a depression in the die. Does that make sense at all? This is metal. But over here, this is the metal. Okay, I get the depression. This depression is going to match this raised area. That's the hub. That's the die. So when I go make a coin out of the die, I'm going to be left with, there's a metal, a raised area that matches it perfectly. There's your metal. Now, what if I hub it twice, but I shift it? I'm going to have a void, and I'm going to have, a secondary part. Maybe I'll have a line right in the middle. I'm going to have a butt, right? The distance here, the thickness of that letter is going to be increased. So when I end up with a coin, it is also going to be increased. But the height's the same because I get the same depth of penetration when I hub that die. Okay, what would this look like on a coin? I would see something like this. Where I got a fat 9. I went from over here to this awful thing. It looks like one of those little tags you get at when you buy clothes. And I might see a separation line through here. And that separation line would be that little raised bit right in here. Does that make any sense? This is a terrible photo. Well, it's not really a photo. I did not go to school for art. So you're looking for fat. Fat is good. Fat is doubled. Skinny, if it's been made thinner, much like the big N we saw over here. Where'd the big N go? If it's made thinner, then that is mechanical doubling. You get into incuse letters, it's kind of the other way around, just because well, everything's, you know, backwards on the incuse. Like if you have a, where'd that, I just had a quarter here. It did not have the, there you go. Here's an incuse coin. You'll love this. Yeah, we're going to change the rules all of a sudden when you go to incuse scope. Because there, you still have the step, but it's a step up. Because now the bottom of the design is at the bottom of the letter. So if you have doubling on an incuse device, then it would be wider. And if you have a double die on an incuse device, then it would be narrower. Incuse is entirely backwards, just because it's raised on the die, sunk in on the coin. It's sunk in on the hub. Am I making any sense at all? Go out, I hope so. We get to there, go to there, there, I'm home. Now let me catch up with what people are asking and stuff. That's a great example of double, that's gone. 30 things just flashed past me. Oh, can I explain the serif also? Okay. I might need another piece of paper here. I come in, I'm going to take that die, right? I'm going to take the hub and I'm going to sink an impression into a die. And I'm going to make a letter E in the die. All right. So let's say that's depressed because this is on the die. But I go and instead of hubbing it once, where I sink the hub into the die, I'm going to hub it twice. But I'm going to shift it just a little bit. I'm going to add a secondary image, right? Oh, let's see if I can draw this again. How's that look? So I've stuck two designs into the die. The ultimate image, because it's not, you're not going to see lines over lines on the coin. On the die, you're going to have this sort of thing. Look, I can draw. Okay, well, you have a notch. That's it. Geez, what is that? That looks like car keys or something. If I sink a raised device into a die and shift it, and then do it again, I'm going to end up with a notch. Mechanical doubling, machine doubling, you don't get the notch, right? Machine doubling on that E, I'm going to hit that with the die again. And all I can do, I can't add device to it. I can't add metal to it. All I can do is squish what's already there. So I would squish this side flat, and perhaps I'm shifted a bit, I would squish down here. Okay? I've got a thinner E, but at that point, there's no serif. There's no notch in the corners. There's no notch in the points. You know, S's are great places to see it because you have a, you know, kind of a point on that S. If I can draw that right. There you go. You'll have a kind of a point. You'll see the points. Look at United States. We've got a picture right here. I could probably show you. Screen, nope, scope. There we go. Have a look at that S, how it comes to a point. Now, if that were machine doubling, what's it going to look like? We go home. That S is just going to be squished. Probably something like this. And if that's on that side, I might have more over here where it's squished. It's the ultimate, you know, you're looking at both sides, the raised section and the low section, and your thickness is the same. But I don't have a split in that serif. If I were to take an S and sink it into a die, right, I would have, oh, the regular old looking thing. If I can draw that. And if I did that again, right, shifted, I'm going to have another point over here. or something like that. I'm going to have a split in that serif right in there. So MD pounds flat what's already existing. A double die actually adds a new void in the die, which then makes the coin to match. Okay, on last request, can you show a pic of a double die, please? I'm going to have to find one. Where the heck did I put that last one? See, I'm not ready. I just did the show last night, and I slept and got up. What did I put with that one? I think it might be in here. I'd have to actually look for a photo. Not sure. Do I have that one here still? Let me find something here. So I regret that I did not prepare adequately for. No, I cannot. I cannot. I could hunt. I'm convinced I will never find it. I'll spend half the show looking for it. So no, I don't have a photo of a double die coin. I could look one up, but it's going to lag the screen. You can go to Google and type in double die, try 1972, and you'll get plenty of photos there. But I'm just not ready for it over here. Many 2018 descents are going to be like Ken Peavy pictures. Where you have MD, and it shrinks what's already there, but you don't have a split. You don't have a notch in the serif, right? You get a coin that looks like this on the letters, on the numbers, you got something. MD, you're looking for a flat shelf where it's been flattened out, okay? You're looking for thinner devices, not thicker. All right, this is thicker. I can't make this work. This is thicker. That's a big fat 9. This is normal. If I took that 9 and hit it with MD, I'm going to have something that's going to look like this. You'll see the MD on the coin. Same shape, same thickness, but I got a flat shelf. And this is just flat. It's the same size as the normal design, except part of it is flattened out. Whereas a double die is wider than the normal design. Many 2018 Ds. Please explain, Lincoln. Oh, Lincoln's getting a lot of 2018 Ds with MD. He's finding some good stuff over there. Ken, what makes a coin have a wide 8 in the date? Just the 8? Now, MD is tricky. It could be anywhere in the coin, right? It could be on one side of the coin, it could be on the other side of the coin, it could be on the left, it could be the right, it could be just on the top of the front. It's tricky, it's sneaky. Just because you have MD on one part doesn't mean it's across the entire coin. Where'd that screen go? Nope, that's not it. Where's that scope? There we go. Now, I had some MD somewhere on here. And as I recall, it was pretty small and perhaps down here. I went looking for some examples and just couldn't find a darn thing. Here we go. You see a little bit on the end. It's just a thin strip. That's a poor example. Man, it takes a lot of work to get these shows ready, and sometimes I just don't have it ready. We might have to go back to those photos. But I could have some MD showing on one element on this coin. It's not across the whole thing. A common place to find it is at the sides of the memorials with my pointy stick. But I've got a piece bouncing around. I'm showing this coin. There you go. Okay, just because it's perhaps over here on this high device doesn't mean I'm going to see it over there on a lower device. There's a relief difference here, and perhaps the die will bounce and strike this high device, but it's going to miss this one right next door. Right? Maybe that die comes in at an angle, right, when it imparts its force, and I see it over on this side, but on the other side is perfectly normal. MD is sneaky, right? You can have it in the middle of the coin, but not on the edges, because there's a higher area in the middle of the coin. Lincoln says, those pictures I sent you yesterday. Oh, yeah. You found some good stuff. 2017 nickels are full of MD. I should have grabbed some nickels up. Geez, I just filled those with pennies. Where'd my nickels go? What are these? Oh, a bunch of quarters. If you go through enough stuff, you're going to find MD. I guarantee it. That's one thing you will find. Is just go, you know, go hunting. Let's see. I don't seem to have, I got nickels. Where's my Tootsie Roll bank? There it is. Nickels are always good for MD. We can go through and actually try to find some. Here. Let's get stuff everywhere. I don't know what these coins are, so I'll put those up here. No, these are junk. And I am out of room. How does this happen? How does this place get so torn apart? The O in Monticello, great spot for it. Let's get some nickels up here and take a look at them. See if we can find some MD. I'm going to zoom in pretty tight here. But the letters are in the same normal place, right? They look like they're the same distance, but one side's flatter. And I'm not going to find anything right off here. If you look for it, you can't find it. You ever had that? You need a Phillips screwdriver, all you find is flat. You need a flat screwdriver. You got 37 Phillips. What do you do? Can we find some MD live? That'll be a trick, won't it? That one looks real good. Next. Oh, look. Okay, we got something different going on here. Now, what do you see here? This is actually dye deterioration, but we're getting some idea of what you're going to see. It's about as sharp as we're going to get it. Yeah, that's dye deterioration, but we can use this as sort of an example. You see these extra lines. Oh, the bottom of the center of the E, you've got another line. The bottom of the T, you've got another line. It's not supposed to have a line, but by God, it's got one. Where's my razor? Well, I'll just sharpen it a different way. I'll use the other end. There you go. You see the side of the T, it has an extra line. Okay, now you look at the height, you look at how it works on the other coins, and you can help diagnose, is it mechanical doubling or is it dye deterioration? In this case, it's dye deterioration, but you're getting the idea. Okay, let's look back here. I'm looking for a shadow, right? A duplication, a bit of doubling where it should not be. And there it is. It follows the original design. This is the original. The raised part is what's normal. But part of what was raised was flattened because the die hit it again. It bounced. So I'm taking the existing design, the normal thing, and squishing part of it, and just a little. And I end up with that. Now, see the corner? How it goes around corners? A double die will make another corner. Now, with machine doubling, I'm not making another design. I'm squishing what's already there, so I don't have splits. Let's see if we can make that work. I don't have a split or a notch. Well, here's your notch over here. Where'd the notch go? Here, I've made two designs. I've squeezed two designs into a die. Over here, I've made one design, and then I bounced and struck that same design again. So I didn't create another corner. I flattened what was already there. No notch. Ezekiel just subbed. Well, it's about time. Everybody get over there and sub. Ginger needs subs. Lincoln says, distortion of a die that is, well, that's gone. Distortion of a die that is so bad it doubled the letters. It is worth more than face value. Die deterioration, or what are you talking about there? At Ken 0 and 2000. Don't know what that means. I have a good example. One of my videos on YouTube. It's close. If anybody wants to check it out later after Ken is done. Yeah, Chocolate Cherry's got a video. We'll have to check her out. And Bill J showed up. Oh, good. Bill, do you find any MD in your travels? You know, your box of halves every single day? Yeah, you can sub to each other. Oh, boy. Who else is going to sub to us? Okay, let's look at some more MD, because I know we got it here. Okay, what do you got here? Is that 2000 and something? 14. And if you hunt, you will find it. This is one of the things I can guarantee you're going to find. You may not find a double die, but we'll look at it while we're here. That looks pretty normal. Okay. Sides of the buildings are wonderful to find it. You've got high raised devices. These are big devices. I mean, the building's pretty darn big. But if you're going to find it, a lot of times you find it there because, well, that's the first thing the die is going to hit when it bounces. Whereas letters are much lower in relief. I don't happen to see anything here, though. Well, that's a fairly good sharp strike. Okay, let's look down here at the bottoms of these letters. That's actually die deterioration is what this is. But it looks the same as MD. Die deterioration can make it look like the device is wider. It's not really wider. It's a different part of the die or that has worn away. Ginger said, did I by chance have a double die in my package? You had two so far. They're quarters. You didn't know about them, but they're in there. I'll get to you. Yeah, they're minor double dies. Actually, I got them laid out right behind me. We can take a moment and have a look. Okay, what's this, Lewis and Clark? Guys in the boat. But if you want to find it on demand, that's a trick. You can't necessarily find this stuff on demand. Let's see if we can find some MD while trying. That is a trick, isn't it? We may have a bit in the G. Let's keep looking here. I want to find some good solid stuff. Not big enough to really talk about. The buildings are wonderful. They're big, they're bold, they're high, they're deep on the die. If we're going to find MD, that's oftentimes the best place to look. And I'm just not feeling the love today. How about up here? Get anything? How about down there? I tell you, you can't find it if you got to look. Whatever you're looking for, tell the coins you're looking for something else. I'm looking for, brown spots, and then everything's going to be BU. There you go. There's a bit of MD right there. Right there. That's perfect. Perfect. Okay, there's no splits of these points. Right, the corner of the building, it's square, and there's another one square, just shifted because the die came and struck the coin, and then it bounced and kind of struck it again, but it didn't have enough force behind it to give it a full strike. So it just kind of squished what's already there. And yeah, that's a good example. Perfect. There you go, right in here. There's no split on that point. These are flat shells. Let's see if we get any more. Okay, just that one area is all we're going to have. All right, let's look at the outer outlying letters, see if we can find something on that. It's pretty tore up and tired and abused. Okay, but there we go. We got a high point, was struck a second time because the die rattled while it was being struck. And the dies get used. The machines that hold the dies get used, and the stuff wears out. The older the machines are, the more worn out, the more often you're going to have MD. The 70s have all kinds of MD, especially on the back of the buildings. Got another nickel here. All right, let's see what we got on this one. It's a boat. Did we look at this already? You go through and you will find coins in your stash. We'll show this. Well, letters are the same thickness, but you've got a flat shelf, which has squished part of those letters. Okay, let's look at the high parts. I gotta find it there. Why is that? When you want to show something to somebody, you can't find what you need to show them. Okay. This one looks pretty good. You got maybe just a touch of it on the corner of that one. So there's a contact mark, or is it, a bit of MD on that? But you know where to look. Look at the high points. Look at the sides of the letters. And it's going to be following the design. It's not going to create a second design. Oh, look, over here. Better check this. There's a little bit right in there. Right in the bottoms of the letters. E, T, some on the D, on that S, where it's just been squished flat. Now that's a very flat section and very close in. And I can't zoom in much more. That's about as close as I can get in. There you go. Way to go. Come back, come back. Like the bottom of that E, you don't have any, how can I make that bigger? I can make it bigger this way. The bottom of that E, you don't have an additional corner. Right? You just have a kind of a second line under it. But I don't have two E's were made. Just the one was made. So mechanical doubling is damage. You're taking the existing design and flattening part of it. Where'd that go? I just saw something there. No, that's deterioration. But you're going to find it everywhere. Everywhere you look, you'll find it. When you least expect it, that's when you find it. Let's try over here. Yeah, I should have prepared better for the class, but there was no time. But with MD, you can always find something. Here's another nickel. Your girl just subbed. God love you. Ginger's, you're bulking up over there, aren't you, Ginger? Okay, here's another Jefferson, and let's follow that around. And look, it's in the same place. This is another one, and you get the same sort of thing where the existing design was crushed. Right? It was crushed flat. It follows around the edge of the design. Goes around corners, but doesn't give you a second corner. It's the same corner squished. Am I making any sense to you? MD is a tough one to explain because there's so many different ways it can be created. You'll find it a lot of times on the highest points. Right? You may not find it, even if you got great MD over here, which we do, you may not find it over here. This is something else going on. This is dye deterioration that's going on in these letters. And they're pretty screwed up, let me tell you. You think I got hit by a truck or something? Let's look at the bottom letters. F-I-V-E. There you go. You have a great example right there, where the E is made a bit thinner. If I can point, well, we can see the E, I think. And the left side is flat. With sense. Again, on that E, it's been flattened out. This is what you're looking for. But you don't have a secondary point on that. Screen. No. Screen. Home. There we go. You've got a single corner instead of a double corner. This would be a double die. This would be mechanical doubling. If we go back and have another look, that's kind of what we have here. It doesn't go around the corner though. Ginger says, I was just asking if I had a DD so you could show as example. I have a box of pennies to go through and want to be prepared. If you don't know, set the coin aside, right? Because in time you'll gain more experience. I've got Ginger's stuff back here. If I get them. Here's Ginger's goods that I've been looking at. I still got, I got to get the batteries home. Okay, we're going to have a look at this here quarter, right, with all the lettering all over it. Let's have a look. Where's that other quarter? Must be on the second curve. We'll leave it right there. But what I've got here is SDDO 001. All right, let me get a regular quarter here. So I've got ginger on the right. And this is the left one. We're going to zoom out. Okay, you're looking at this little spot. Watch this. See the ribbon? You got the knot in the ribbon, and then you have this little wiggle right in there. And let me bend that so we can see this is a normal strike. It's nice and neat and sharp and clean. There's nothing extra. Now this is Ginger's piece over here. Okay, we have the knot, and then you go up and you have that little dip. But if I can put the shadow on there, you can see she got some extra metal going on in there. There you go. It's extra raised metal. It's not flat. And that is, as far as I can tell, it's a Class 8 double die. I get these in a lot of quarters, and 99 is a great year for them. And this is where I find it. Sometimes you find it where you get doubling on the ear as well, which I don't seem to have in this one. But I've got extra metal right in here. Now, I get these a lot. I've got it listed right now in my databases, SDDO number 1. But, well, first off, I can't find the die markers, which would, help me get SDDO number 2 or whatever. But I've got so darn many of these. That's what's kicking my butt. Excuse me one moment. I'm concluding that this is probably a doubled master die or doubled working hub because they're everywhere. You'll find these, and it's at just a little bit of extra metal just inside that that one curl, that one curve. Go back to the normal one, and I don't have that extra bit of metal right in that curve. Anyway, I got 2 of these that I've dug out so far out of your batch. Yes or no? I don't see anything here that would make me say, ooh, I want to collect that, unless I want to have one of every designation, which I do, so I get a full set to go with the database. But that's what we're looking for. It's not flattened out. It's additional metal. Additional metal is because there's an additional imprint in the die. The die has been doubled. Whereas mechanical doubling doesn't add anything. It only destroys what's there. It's damage, in effect. ISP. Oh, that's Candy. How are you? Is a double working hub mere a doubled working hub? Should be. It should be. There's a debate going on about that. Should they not be thinner? They should be thinner if you have a doubled working hub. If you take the master die and imprint the working hub twice, yeah, that should be thinner devices. It wouldn't be like MD where it's a flat shelf. It would be full depth, but it should be thinner. What's going on? And so, well, that's an ongoing debate with people who talk about those sorts of things. But on incuse doubling, again, it should be reverse as well. Arctic Timberwolves joined us. How's everyone today? Let's see if we can find something else on another nickel here. Okay, another nickel altogether. That looks pretty normal. That's a normal corner. And I don't see anything sticking out from here. But you can see here the regular thickness of the E. And let's see if I can show this one. And this one will be more. What that one I just had go? I'm not going to find it again. There's only so many nickels on this table. Okay, I'm going to give up if this ain't it. Okay, good enough. Yeah, let's just stare at the tops and see if we can identify some. Let me catch up over here. Arctic says, hi Ken, hi Sparrow, hi Amanda. Coin Dragon, that's not copper. What's not copper? Bill says, what is a true double die like? The 55 penny, what did that doubling? That is a class 5 doubling. And I'm going to need a different photo for that. Let me set these back. Okay. And we'll go do some drawing. Screen, home. Okay, the 1955, for example. The normal hub. This is what a normal hub looks like. It looks like a raised design, the regular coin, right? It's raised, it's normal, it's front. That's what a hub is, in effect. But you can't make a lot of coins out of a hub. You got to have this process of duplication. Let me show you here. You got the Galvano, the big thing. It's like a dinner plate. Okay, the Galvano. There's Lincoln, date, Liberty. Okay, the Galvano. They use a it's a reducing lathe in effect. It transcribes this big plate onto a 3/4 inch master hub. Okay, and this is going to be, normal size, same size as the coin. It's also going to be a little bit backwards. Here's the date, here's Liberty, and that is depressed. Let me get this right. No. This is raised. That's the Galvano. It's raised. Okay, and we've reduced the size because the Galvano is the size, of a dinner plate. Right, that's the Galvano. It's this big dish, trash can cover or something. Okay, that's going to be the master hub. It's raised. All the hubs are raised. The master hub is going to make master dies. It's going to make a whole lot of master dies, right? From the Galvano, you make the one master hub. You can make another one. That's no problem. You can make several. But this is an involved process here that takes many hours on a really expensive machine. But I can take, once I have that master hub, I can make master dies, and they're going to be backwards. Let's see. I've got the date is going to be over there. Liberty's going to be over here. And this is sunk in. That's going to be the master die. So if you got master die doubling, that's where that is. It was hit by the master hub a couple of times. With the 72 master die doubling. Okay, but you can make a whole lot of these master dies from a single hub. All right, so this is a lengthy process from the Galvano over here. It's pretty quick. Stick it in the machine, squeeze the lever, press the button, pull out your done piece. Now from the master die, we're going to make a working hub, which is also going to be raised. This looks just like a penny, but it's it's a big die, this big looking thing. It's a hub. Okay, and that's going to be reversed. And you can make a whole lot of these. Lots and lots of them. So, the one Galvano, you make a couple working hubs. A working hub, or a master hub rather, you're going to make, hundreds of master dies. A master die makes hundreds of working hubs. And that makes the working die, which is sunk in. And that's going to finally make the coin. Where you got what? We got Georgia, you get the regular date, the letters, the whole bit. That's the coin. So you follow me here. You're raised on the master hub. You're sunk on the master die. That's your master side. Then you get the working side. You're raised on the working hub. You're sunk on the working die. So there's your other section. You get a working side and a master side. That's masters. Masters make workers. But each step down the chain, you can make, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Now, if you need 1 billion coins, and every die, that's your die. Right? When the working hub hits the working die, that's what doubling kicks in. If you need 1 billion coins, and you can make 500,000 out of a working die, you need 1,000 working dies. You need 1,000 of those babies, right? If you need 1,000 working dies, you need 20 working hubs. You need 20 working hubs, you need, 1 or 2 master dies. And that's made with, the 1 or 2 master hubs. Okay, now keep on going. Let's keep on going. We're going to take, oh, let's say the number 5. Okay, if I can draw this right. All right. Now on the working hub, it's going to be raised. It's going to look just like the penny. It's going to be raised up. There's your 5. But I'm going to take that 5 and I'm going to press it with great pressure into a die. So I'm going to be left with, on the die, a reverse image. That's the die. And that's sunk in. All right. Now normally what they do, or they used to do, we're in a single squeeze era now. They used to do it repeatedly, right? They take the hub and squeeze it into the die and leave that imprint so they can then, slam out the coins. Well, it wasn't always the best process, so they do it twice to make sure. They'd sink that's the working hub, and that's the working die. They take the working hub and squeeze into the working die twice, sometimes 3 times. But what if it shifts in between, right? You go to do it, and you back off, and, there's an earthquake or something, and you shift it. I'm going to leave a second impression sunk into that die, and it might be shifted. On the 1955 double die number 1, it was shifted greatly, right? And I ended up with this sort of thing. Boy, I can't draw this stuff. I'm not an artist. There you go. So all of this is also sunk into the die. And that is what ends up on the coin, except it'll be raised. So if I turn that around and look at it backwards, do we do that? That's what I'm going to have on the that's what I'm going to have on the coin, where the whole thing has been shifted. And I got to do die classes. Is the next one is how, what is die class number 1, a double die number 1? What happens on number 2? How the hub hits the die. It should go in straight. There you go, where it goes on straight. But different things can happen. It can move to the right, right? It can twist. Okay. It can pivot across a point, like your class 4s. It can pivot across a point. Different ways it can help. It come in tilted. Awesome job. On the 5, I'm pretty proud of that. There you go. If they pivot, for example, okay, there's your coin. Now pretend that's an alarm clock. Right? There's 12 o'clock. There's 6 o'clock. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, let's see, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. You'll see K numbers. K. This is 1955 double die number 1, pivoted at K10. What the heck does that mean? K. 10. That's your pivot point. Right there. So if you got a double die that is pivoted on that point, right? Let me do it this way. The thing slid much like this. You follow me? So the area is close. We're going to have very little doubling. It's just not enough distance. But the stuff far away on the other side of the coin should be a mile apart. That's what a K number is. With buffalo nickels, I come across a lot of turn dies. Surely. They changed the way they're locked in. I understand they got 2 Woodruff keys on one side of the die, 1 Woodruff key on the other. So now you can't. It's impossible to move one die in the wrong position. That's the whole idea there. But with 2 Woodruffs, that baby ain't gonna slip. Back when they had, just the 1, it was a whole lot easier. Now Woodruff, you take a piece of steel and you cut off one side of it, right? And you got a flat spot. This is gone now. And now you got something you can lock in. You can drive a screw into that spot That's supposed to be a screw, and bolt it down because you get a flat end to keep it secure. Over time, of course, well, geez, there's a lot of force involved. And that thing's going to try to shake and it's going to wear itself down and it's going to start wearing those corners out. Um, and over time, it can start to turn. Now, with that woodruff in there, that thing usually ain't going to go too far. But before they had the woodruffs, well, they had they bolted the darn thing down pretty much. They just screwed it thing down, but it could spin. It could spin. And then you got, reverses that they're supposed to be upside down, but, they turn as they go. Katie says, it's in the channel owner's advanced live stream options. I have never heard of a mod being able to control that setting. Well, these guys can do anything. They can do stuff I don't know what it is they do. Yeah, so I got to make sure I get a double die class going. MDs out there, you got to get your head around it. Until you get your head around it, it's going to perplex you. You're going to be tricked into thinking, hey, this is a double die, when really it's damage, and there's a big difference. MD, I see some people actually collect it. Now, there's different ways MD can happen. Sometimes it can hit and slide, right? Sometimes it comes in and shoves the metal. Either way, it's still damage, and MD is very common. You will find it, I guarantee it. You can look through the stuff you've already looked for, and you will be able to find it. But until you're able to identify it from its thinner devices, from its flat shelf characteristics, where do you have that one? Right, from its flat shelf. There we go. From where it is on the relief, right? Because it could be anywhere from the bottom to the top. Double dies, same height. One of these designs to the other. Over here, on MD, this side, this area, it's flat, it's low. If it was a double die, they'd be the same height, and that's just a separation line in between where it kind of did a little dip, just like that. You got to check it, follow it, study, read everything you can about MD. It takes a while to get a good understanding of it, but once you do have an understanding of it, you'll never say, oh, I got a double die. Nope, MD, you'll stop that immediately. It's out there. Let me get these out of my way here. I got change all over this desk. Is it change or is it a double die? MD is damage. MD 2020 will do some damage. In the 80s, I heard people say a die slip. It's the same thing or close to an MD. I don't know what the term means. In the 80s, I just got my first loop, and oh my gosh, look, it's another double die. And when you knew, everything's doubled. MD is not. It's damaged. When you have a channel like mine, slow mode is necessary. I get trolled bad. Sorry to hear it. I just have regular people who like to look at coins. But die slip, I don't know what that means. Did it rotate? Did it wear out the woodruff and shift? Did it slam a couple of times? Die slip, die shift. Yes, the same. Okay, I don't know what that refers to. It's an older term. This week it's mechanical doubling we're talking about. They'll change the name later and call it, repeat, reject, impact, slide, slipping, doubling, or something else. A combination of MD and deterioration will trip me up sometimes. Yeah, okay, die deterioration. Remember how you got this stuff going on, right? And over here you've got they're working on the die, right? Let's draw the die. All right, here's the bottom of the die. Let's see. Is that good? There you go. And I've got a device. Let's say that's the leg of an N. That's really serious. That's what it's going to look like if you slice through it. Okay. Now I got metal coming in. I'm going to have a planchet up here, right? I'm going to squeeze that down in, and that's going to try to fill that hole. I'm going to squeeze it hard. It's going to fill that hole, and it's going to fill it perfectly. But that's a lot of pressure, and I've got metal on metal, right? Metal scraping. There's no lubrication in here. Well, sometimes there's that grease thing, but that's a different story. But this is metal on metal. It's highly abrasive. Now, as I press down with force, that metal wants to slide outward. from the center. If I've got devices in here, I'm going to try, this metal's going to start to wear, especially at these edges. Right? It's going to wear it right here. Might wear it right here. You follow me? So when the coin, when I finish that coin out, it's going to look much like this. And that's solid metal. But over time, as I keep using that die, I'm going to wear it a little bit more. And on the coin, it's going to have a little extra right here. You follow me? I keep wearing it and wearing it and wearing it and wearing it. And that coin is going to keep on growing. That's the sort of thing I expect to see from die deterioration. But look at the height. Right? It's way down at the bottom. That's your doubling. MD could be anywhere. But die deterioration, it's right at the field. It's at the level of the field. Because it's the die it's wearing out. It's deteriorating. And it's going to reflect that shape. Ooh, I got one right here. Yeah, this is going to work. It's going to reflect the shape of the device. Because it flows in, it flows out. And where it's flowing out, that's where you see it. Oh, let's see. You've heard of a poor man's double die? That's not it. Okay, here's a 1946 where this is what's going on. Where the 6 has been deteriorating. And look at the 4. And at the field, it's starting to duplicate the shape of the 4. It's, it's not doing it on purpose. It's just, well, that's the 4, and it goes in and it comes out, and where it comes out, that's where it duplicates. There goes the pen. And it's just die wear. You see it on the 6. There's another one right beside it. I had these set out just for this, specifically for this. And again, there's the 6, and it smushes, it smooths, it deteriorates the shape. And I might have some more over here, I bet you. Look for it on the L. Not seeing it so much. You'll see it up at the tops of the letters, where the metal flow will give it little horns. These look pretty sharp. There you go. See the T? There you go. See the T? It's got these little horns, because on the sides of the T, the metal can flow freely. But where it meets the T, it flows in, it flows out, and then wears. Well, is that a secondary T? Is that part of the T doubled? Not really. It kind of looks doubled, but it's from die deterioration. Lincoln says, did you see my pictures on Facebook group at Coin Dragon? And Coin Dragon says, that's the nicest 40s I've ever seen. Oh, these are sweet. I got some regular ones I've been selling for $3, but I got some better ones. They go for a little more. Let's see if we can see those. There's a 1946. Yeah, they're sharp. Got a spot on his head? Okay. Let's look at the backs and see if we can see some deterioration here. Okay. There you go. See how the letters are smushed. They're not as sharp as they used to be. When the die was new, they were sharp. You had an edge on that T. But over time, that top edge just kind of got worn and worn and worn. And so it looks like, geez, is that a secondary R? It's not really. That's die wear. You'll see this a lot too. You probably see this more often than MD. And let's see what we got down. Oh my God, spots. Man, I hate those spots. I like a nice shiny coin. They're perfect. That's die deterioration doubling. That's not mechanical, and it's not a double die. That's the die has worn out, and the pattern of wear matches the devices on it. Oh, they weren't plumb. Have you seen the quarter? Dimes are big on this. The quarters are bigger than this. Nickel's pretty tough metal. Ken has a Facebook group. Oh, join if you'd like to continue the discussions. Is the YouTuber coin community on Facebook. You can get in there. Not yet. Been getting groceries and talking to mom. How's your mom? I hope she's doing okay. I wear like the nickel pick I sent you a bit back. I'm sure of it. I don't quite remember that particular nickel though. I'm already in CoinUp. Yeah, there's a link in the description to the CoinUp group, to the CoinUp sales group, to the YouTuber coin community group on Facebook and on MeWe. She's a trooper. Well, give her our love, Coin Dragon. There you go. Let's see if we can find anything else on these. Here's that better one. Oh no, it's got spots. Gosh, it's worse than ring around the collar. Let's see what we got. There you go. See, the P looks like it's been doubled, but it's the die has worn out and the pattern of wear matches the device. That's what's going on there. Okay, that's got it. I just found a really pretty 58. Glad to hear it. Let's see what we got for 58s. Here's some 58s. I just like showing stuff off sometimes. Let's put one of these out. Oh, look how shiny that is. Oh, it's got a big fat spot on it. Yeah. Alrighty. Now Canada has better control on their, they get better quality control in their coins. So you don't find as much die deterioration. You can still get some MD, but it's a lot of times quite minor. There you go. There's Elizabeth on a 58. They're beautiful when they're new. Let's look at the other side real quick. 1 cent, 1958. But you can look at the edges on these, and they're typically a lot sharper. Now, mind you, Canada does not create as much coinage as the United States. They get 10% of the population, right? They don't need as many coins. There we go. But these are nice and sharp and crisp. Very rarely will you find deterioration or MD on those. But it's the same darn things. People making coins, and they make mistakes, and the machines wear out. You will find, errors and varieties on Canadians too. It's not CoinUp. Ken has a YouTuber coin community, and if you, even if you're not in the CoinUp group, if you just follow their YouTube, channels, you can get into the YouTuber coin community and talk and post, put up a picture of your latest video, for example. One more. Can you explain Cuds and clashes? Didn't I just have a heck of a clash? What was that one? Okay. Okay. A clash. You got these, give me something here. Perfect. Okay. I got 2 dies, just like that. Right? That's a reverse. That's the obverse. I'm slamming these together with great force. I mean, like an elephant stepping your toe kind of force. Real hard. Enough to squeeze copper into a little crack inside the coin. Right? That's the whole idea. Now I'm doing this 10 times a second. I mean, Jesus, the things. They're full semi-automatic, these things. 10 times a second. I put a coin in, right? I put up a collar around it. I jam the dies together. I pull the dies apart. I slide away the copper. I eject a penny, right? 10 times a second. That whole process occurs in a 1/10 of a second. So each part of that process is, the blink of an eye. Coin goes in, squeeze it. I get an impression of the coin. But what happens if I, jam them together, but something went wrong and no coin was in there? I can get the impression of one of the dies sunk into the other die, which is going to be something like this. Oh, let's see, right under his chin, somewhere here. There you go, behind his neck. You're going to see that little mark is actually, if you look at the other side of the coin, and let me find that. What's that going to be? There's his head, his neck, back of his neck. E? That should be part of the E. Yeah. Because here's the back of that coin. That's the part of the E hitting the back of his neck. And you got a little bit in front of his neck, and that's going to be part of the T in scent. And I thought I had more on this one. There you go. Here's one. You get these clash marks. Do you see an O here behind his head? Yes, you do. What is that O from? Of. That's the O and of. That's on the opposite side of that spot, and that's the O and of. Look up here. I've got, isn't this pretty? I've got a line here, kind of neat. That's a wheat stem. Because the coins, the dies came together, left a mark. And I wanted to see what was going on with that bit up there inside. That's just a big gouge there. Yeah, all kinds of things happen to these dies. Let's see if I get any other marks. That's what I got right now. Right up here, God. In the G-O, I got a big gouge. Right? If I take a die, one of these things, and I scratch my name into it, every coin I produce with that die is going to have that same spot. Sometimes these things, they wear out. You'll find a little chip will, pop off. They get old, they get tired, and you get a chip that will form. And let's see if I got chips around here. I don't think so. Not readily. Have we? Cracks. Oh, this might work. I got everything here. Come on. Okay. Perhaps that die will wear and a crack will form. Kind of just can't take it anymore. Can't bear the strain, and a crack appears somewhere. I'm going to have a guess it's over here. Let's find it. There's supposed to be a crack on this. Are you in the wrong bag? Boy, that's tough. I'm thinking it goes through the eye and goes to the corner of the memorial. There should be a few. It says 1994 picks. The other piece of paper says cracks. Why would I pick these out? I don't know. Is that the right bag? It says picks. All right. Well, anyway, if a crack appears in a die, every coin subsequently made with that crack is going to have it. You can see the same crack showing up on that coin. Let me see what else is here. If it's got a chip, all right, a piece of die breaks off, right from the middle somewhere, then every coin produced after that is going to have that same chip. Let's see if we can find one here. These are picked up for some reason. I don't know why. They're just picks. All right. But anyway, as that chip gets bigger and bigger, it can become a die break. Now, a die break is 4 square millimeters or larger. Let's look at this one. Oh, there you go. In the center of that 9, you got a little die chip. Let's look over here. Birdie. Now, sometimes you get a piece of it will break away. Piece of the whole darn die. Now, I don't happen to have a Cud. Okay, picture time. I dropped my pen. Here's a pencil. Go to the screen. No, go home. There it is. New page. Okay, here's what your die looks like. You got a big solid piece of metal. About 3 inches high. I had one, but I sold it off. I'll have to get another one. They're fun to have around. Okay, there's your die. I got a flat side over here. Where this is flat, helps lock it in place. There's your picture of whatever you got, Abe Lincoln, up here. This is what's important. Okay, there's your die. There's your die face. Sometimes you get a piece that'll break off, right? Just a little chip. You'll see them in Liberty a lot of times on the Lincoln cents. Just a little chip. Okay, that's a die chip. If it grows to 4 square millimeters, it becomes a die break. and it can have different shapes, right? You can have a, you know, a weird piece kind of missing, right? That'll be on the coin, it'd just be a big blob because the metal of the planchet fills the void uh, on the die, so it would be a blob, be raised. Now you get these die cracks, okay? And they show up. Sometimes they'll go, I mean, right across the whole thing. That's a different animal altogether, right? You'll get these cracks, and they'll go from the rim. They'll come in, and they'll go back to the rim. Well, now you have what's called a retained cud, right? It's all normal. All the design is normal, except you get this crack going through it. Now, if that crack breaks off, right, you're talking about a whole piece of this die breaking off. That's gone. That's a cud. This is a cud. That's where the whole side of the die is gone. If that was my die, I ripped up a chunk, you know, off the side. I bit it like an apple, but it covers the face. It intersects with the face of the die. So when I make a coin, I've got a big blob intersecting the edge, right? I get a big blob over here. That's not a cud. That's just a chip. This, if I looked at the whole die, this whole section is gone. It's all, you know, this is gone. There's my regular die. And I get a big blob of metal. Be no detail. On the back, it's going to be very light on the detail on the back of the coin produced by this, because you don't have an opposing force over here. This is just blank metal going into a void, right? So the other side of the coin is going to be, you know, lack of detail. Suds can only be on the rim. That's correct. Because if it's not on the rim, it's not a cud. It's a chip. It's a break. It's an interior die break. A cud is, it's the same darn thing, you figure, as a die break, only it's really, really big, right? A die break where, you know, piece on the inside breaks off. That looks like a Venus. We better add more. There we go. Okay, piece just, you know, spalls off from chip to this thing. Sometimes you have an interior die break that's retained where you just have a crack in the interior that kind of goes around. Maybe we'll make this one look like a dinosaur. Does that look like a dinosaur? Okay, but it's not blobbish metal in there. When you got a blob, you got a piece of the die is gone. Could be a chip, could be a break, and if it's on the edge, right, and that whole side of the die is gone, how can I make a cud here? Be right back. How can I do that? Yeah, I can do this. I need my nail opener. There it is. It's under here. Okay, we can do this. These are my sorting cups. Put the, you know, in there, for example. Okay, you ready? That's the face of my die. Okay, that's a whole die. Good enough. This is a chip. That piece went away. That's a die chip. On the coin, I'm going to have a little bit, just a little raised bit, where that the metal in the coin filled that little space. Now, if I get a die crack, there you go. That's a die crack. You can see that. I didn't cut that well. Here. That's a die crack, where it's just a piece, you know, it's taken some damage and you get a little crack, and that space, that gap in there can fill with metal and leave a little crack on the coin. All right, let's put a bigger knife. No, there's nothing there. One moment, please. Tool difficulties. Okay. That's a cud. That's where an entire piece of the side of the die is broken off. All right, that's a cud. Cuds can only be at the rim. That's what a cud does. So if I slam, a planchet here, well, all the metal from the planchet, a lot of it's going to go in this gap. So I'm just going to have a raised blob. That's what a cud is. Does that explain it better? At the pressure they use the mint, coin metal becomes a bit like Play-Doh. Oh, it'll flow. Now, it's fast, though. I mean, you're talking a blink of an eye, a tenth of a second for the whole process. That's a cud. That's your regular die. That's what happens when you make a cud. A piece is gone. Look at the tops. There you go. That's your regular die. That's what happens when a cud is formed. It's gone. Now imagine this all in here is solid. Maybe I could fill it with water or ice or something. Good example. Thank you so much. I could get some ice and just hack a piece off. All right. So that's a chip. I can make a bigger chip. There you go. That's a chip. That's a cud. Any questions? Very good. They use tons of pressure. What's a 360? It's like Fat Bastard standing on top of a penny. It's going to leave a mark. 360 million pounds. It's a lot, PSIs. It's like the pressure of the sun. They do it at the mint. 36 watching, 31 likes. Wow, we're getting an hour and a half into it. Look, it's 4:30. Dustin should be broadcasting live from the Bellingham Coin Show at some point. Where's my picture here? There you go. He should have his Coin Opp T-shirt going on. I'm going to check the mail. I should have a couple of these coming in. We're going to give one away as soon as the darn things show up. It'll be fun. They're extra large. I'm going to keep one. If it's too big for you, well, just wash it in hot. And if it's too small, dude, get a salad. I mean, really, jeez. It's a salad. It shouldn't be too big for you. It's XL. It'll work. There you go. Who wants the cud? I'll throw that away, I suppose. Now I got little cut parts everywhere. They have finished. They finished. I got to watch that. Did he do his thing? Did he have the surprise? I'll have to watch. Now, in about an hour, Mantic Coins will come on. He'll be doing his thing. He goes through lots and lots of rolls, man. But he doesn't just look for silver. He's going to look for die varieties and $half as well. And there's a lot of good time to be had. I usually get in there and hang around for a little while, chat, do our thing. Great show. Going to hunt my box of pennies now. Yeah, you'll find the more pennies you go through, the more able you are to pick stuff out. Ooh, here's something I didn't see before. Well, maybe you just didn't know about it before. That's okay. You'll be more astute and more knowledgeable, and the more you know, the more you can get out of a box of pennies. I mean, there's so much stuff out there to measure. I was talking to a fellow not too long ago about, geez, can you make money going through these things? Well, sometimes. He says, this guy says he found $30 silver going through rolls. Okay. Well, he doesn't show you the 50 boxes he went through that got nothing. It takes a lot of time and effort. You can do it, but as far as hourly wages, it's not, gosh, it's darn. This is a hobby. We do this for fun. People find these pennies are worth, $1,000. That's great, but you don't see but 3 or 4 of those a year in a group of 7,000 people, and everybody's going through a box or 2 a week. But there's neat stuff out there. Now, I could take a box and I can make 25 bucks off a $25 box because I know what to look for. I pull it, pick it clean. Dude, my coins are picked clean when I take them back to the bank. But it takes me a month to make that $25. Huh? Yeah. Tonight's project, I'll go through this sack. That's my project for tonight. It takes me a month to go through a box of pennies. Bet you can, if you're interested in this sales aspect, it's a little boost. It's a shot in the arm. It ain't going to make you rich. You're not going to pay your bills. But it's fun. You put together a great collection. He already did? Okay. I was sleeping earlier. But if you want to find different and new stuff, there's some stuff out there that has value. Lots of it. And the more you know, the more likely you will be to get those higher dollar valuable coins. You know, if you made an extra $50, it'd be a great week. Okay. Look, guys, I'm going to take off. I got to watch Dustin stream. I got to eat, you know, clean up my stuff. I got to get to the store and get some batteries. And knowing is half the battle. Gosh. There's no winning the battle, it seems. Oop, what am I, stuck on something? There. Awesome show. Thanks, Zeke. You guys stay groovy. I'll be back tomorrow with the big show. We got some great stuff. People have been sending stuff. We got stuff from Paula. We got stuff from CoinOp. We got stuff from, let's see, Blockhead. We got stuff from Bill J. Somebody else? Somebody else sent something in. Oh, no, that was to be inspected. But there's always something. There could be something out in the mailbox right now. It'll be fun. So get your donations started in early. We'll have a big show. Get off to a good start. Isby says, thanks. Just a warning. I don't have coin stuff on my channel. Literally just started. Flat Earth? Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what the Earth looks like. Yeah, it's flat. The moon goes around it. Bill would take it easy. Get through another box today. Bill goes through a box of halves every day. He is a machine. Now, he started putting up a few videos. You want to get over there and check it out. CJ is going to design all of today. Did you see the math I did? If you're going to have a map, right, a U.S. map of puzzle pieces, where the puzzle pieces are shaped like a state, and you're going to put a state quarter, right, into that puzzle piece, to make this fit into Delaware, the map's going to be 11 feet wide. Oh, geez. How are we going to work that out? That's a lot of plastic. CJ is doing some 3D printing over there. He's making some coin holders. He's taking these and changing the insert and making it, you know, making it look great. If I come up with a whole line of the darn things. Enjoy your day, Ken. Love the live stream. Glad to have you here, everybody. I'm going to take off. Isby says, I'm about to send you that pic of the wheat penny I asked you about a while back. I still can't. There's my email address. And get a hold of me right there. Check out the Van Coin Shop link. I sent you in an email. I started to. Really, I started to for 10 seconds, then I got sidetracked on something else. But I'll get back to that, I'm sure. I'm getting into the half bucks shortly, doing nickels, but they're all 2018s. I got to take them out of the roll. Jeez. People get those whole boxes of, you know, New Year coins, and they say, oh man, I've been skunked. Well, if you got 2018 Ps, there's people on the West Coast that ain't got them, and they'd love to have them. They'll pay, you know, an extra buck a roll. You didn't get skunked. They give you 25 bucks, right? Charge a buck a roll in shipping. That's not too bad. It's a little shot in the arm. People on the West Coast, they get the Ds. We ain't got them over here. It didn't show much, but it's interesting. I'll check into it, dear. Okay, I got to get some things done. I want to thank you guys for stopping in. We'll see you tomorrow. Stay groovy.